Soldier Boy? What are you doing in here?
I'm Kate's imaginary friend from when she was a kid. Boyfriend, really. Diddle that skittle, flick the bean. Better find that man in the canoe. She'd raw dog that pillow till she saw God.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. This will be my full Boys Gen V Episode 6 video. There were a whole bunch of Easter eggs and references. Jensen Ackles' Soldier Boy finally came back. He was hilarious in this episode, even though it was like Mindspace Soldier Boy. The real Soldier Boy is still alive, so don't worry, I'll explain that. If you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the episodes, and careful for spoilers if you haven't seen the episode yet. Just starting at the beginning, working our way through shot by shot, talking about Easter eggs and WTF moments. The episode title was Jumanji, a reference to Kate sucking everyone into her mind, kind of like the Jumanji movie, where everybody gets sucked into the game, in the whole twist where if you die inside the game, you die in real life. If you die inside her mind, or you get trapped inside her mind when it's collapsing and she turns into a vegetable, as Soldier Boy tells them, you wind up becoming a vegetable also in real life. It's also a bit of a callback to the earlier episode where she trapped the dude in the loop where he just kept repeating the word Jumanji, screaming as he pounded his own nuts. Jumanji! If they were actually making another Jumanji movie, maybe they would have Soldier Boy do like some funny promo. There were a couple of funny Soldier Boy promos that they did for the episode. Like they did that when they introduced the Soldier Boy character, Jensen Ackles' character during The Boys Season 3. Like they just had him do those funny Captain America style promos.
I'm Soldier Boy. Only commies spill secrets. Don't be a commie. You spoil this show, I'm gonna ass punch you with the broadside of a hammer. Don't spoil any secrets. God bless America. Gen V now streaming.
The actual opening scene is Kate giving back everyone their memories that she made them forget, basically the events of the past few days, so everybody remembers discovering the truth about the Dean, what Vada's doing in the woods, remembering Golden Boy's brother Sam, pretty much everything. Naturally, everybody hates her because she betrayed them, and even worse, she'd been doing this to Golden Boy for way longer. Like, they realized the truth of that, like, wait a minute, how many times had she done this to him? Sometimes she would make him forget that he had a brother at all. Sometimes she'd make him think his brother was dead because he'd keep remembering and trying to save him, so she'd have to wipe his mind over and over again. She's kind of like the Boys universe version of Emma Frost because most of these characters on The Boys are parodies of X-Men Marvel characters. Like on The Boys main series, most of them are parodies of Justice League characters or like Marvel Avengers characters. Pretty much everybody on the spin-off are X-Men parodies. The reason why I say she's more of a parody of Emma Frost than say like Jean Grey, who also has psychic powers, is because Emma Frost is just way, way darker. She's way darker on this show, and she wore white clothing and gloves like she wears on the show. There are a couple of differences in the way their powers work, like Jean Grey, Emma Frost, and Kate on the show. They don't need to touch you in the X-Men comics. But in the Boys universe, they're saying that there's some twist behind wearing the gloves, like somehow the gloves block her powers. But here's the thing, when she becomes conscious briefly for a second, they're not touching her, but she still sucks them into her mind. So she didn't need to actually make physical contact with all of them in order to do that. This might be one of those situations where she just believed a lie that someone told her a long time ago, like, oh, if you put these gloves on, it will stop your powers from working, when really that wasn't the case. Like someone just told her that lie when she was younger so that she would believe it and she wouldn't consciously try to use her powers when her gloves were on. They kind of suggest this idea during the episode, like maybe she's way more powerful than we thought she was, which is probably true. They're kind of teasing that with the Sam character too, like there's all these new wrinkles and aspects to his power that seem like they're way more complicated than just having Hulk-like super strength. You notice there are Dawn of the Seven posters all over the room, a lot of Seven paraphernalia all over the place. Posters of the characters, like Starlight in her sluttier, more revealing costume, the Girls Get It Done poster, which was a big joke on the whole A4 scene from Avengers Endgame.
Girls get it done.
And cut a rehearsal, no one move.
The other very timely, very funny thing about that, maybe it's a coincidence, but they're actually doing the Marvels movie now, like Captain Marvel 2. In that movie, seems like it's based on the whole concept of that A-Force scene. Like they keep putting that A-Force scene in all the Marvels trailers. Kate kind of explains why she was doing this to them while she's passing out mid-sentence, like she thought that she was doing the right thing, but she was believing all the lies that the Dean and Brink were telling her, like she ate it all up. The Scooby Gang kind of learns the truth through all of her memories in the past. Like, oh, she was being gaslit by the Dean. Like, the Dean was just lying to her this whole time, and she believed it. Basically, Brink and the Dean lied to her, saying that they needed her to do this to help Golden Boy get stronger. There was this weird aspect that they were using, like they were taking something out of Sam, like giving him transfusions of Sam's blood, and somehow that was acting like a performance-enhancing agent, making his powers even stronger. This is kind of like a subplot that they don't completely explain in this episode. Maybe they'll explore it in the final 2 episodes, where there's some aspect to Sam's power that goes way beyond just having super strength. Cardoza was also using Sam to develop this anti-superhero serum. But I think the idea is that Kate also believed Vought might do something terrible to Golden Boy, all the other kids, or something terrible might happen to them if she did not do what Brink and the Dean told her to do, wiping their minds. Normally, if superheroes get too out of control or Vought doesn't want to deal with them anymore, they'll either have them killed, or if they're too powerful to be killed, they'll put them in cryo storage like they did with Soldier Boy. Like Ashley's spin machine at Vought can only spin so hard, like eventually it becomes too much of a public problem, they'll just put you in cryo deep storage. We also learn what's really going on with the Dean, like her master plan. The reason she tells Dr. Cardoza not to inform Vought after he successfully finishes the virus to control Compound V superheroes and tells him to make it fatal, making it way stronger, making it contagious, pretty clearly implying the Dean has her own side plot to kill all Compound V superheroes, and she's trying to weaponize the virus and unleash it before Vought finds out and can stop her. Remember earlier on the show, the Dean told Marie she used to have a daughter and she was kind of sad about, like, I used to have a daughter. She might have been killed by a superhero in some kind of collateral damage kind of incident, like Mother's Milk's family died when he was younger because Soldier Boy threw a car through their house. The Dean probably just swore revenge when it happened to her daughter and pretended to play along with Vought's plan for the University of the Woods, manipulated them in order to weaponize this virus and kill all Supes.
Now can you make it contagious?
They pan around the room like this big American flag is another Homelander reference. We'll probably see him in the final 2 episodes, like one of the final 2 episodes. There's also a Black Noir sign, the wall behind them. Basically just paraphernalia of all the 7 characters all over the school, all over the place. Andre wonders what was really going on with Kate. How much did she know? How long she'd been doing this to Golden Boy? Did she force Golden Boy to kill Brink then himself? Marie is probably correct, though, in saying that she had nothing to do with that. Like, no, that was completely separate. Golden Boy just kept remembering. Eventually, he remembered, went after Brink, accidentally killed him, and then just chose to kill himself. The whole idea of the episode here, like them spending all this time in her mind, was the show wanting you to sympathize with Kate more. Like, look at her trauma, look at her damage. This is why she did all these things. It wasn't because she was trying to be evil. So Marie is correct in guessing that Kate had nothing to do with Vought's true plans with the Woods, creating the virus. She didn't know anything about what the Dean was doing or what Brink was doing either. She just believed their lies when they said that they were doing this to make Golden Boy stronger. We just want to make him a better superhero, like he'll be so much better after this. Just wipe his mind 10, 15, 20 more times. Just keep going. You have to imagine a couple times, though, she'd probably be like, how come they're screaming so much? Like, this doesn't seem like it's very humane. Like, does he really need these? Do we really need to crack open his brother's spine all these different times? The funny moment here, though, like in all of this, is Andre's all traumatized. He says he's made peace with everything he learned about his father, Polarity, being in on everything with Vought. Remember, his father's meant to be like a Magneto reference to X-Men comics. He's also a bit of a Magneto reference himself because of their powers of magnetism. You could also call his father a parody of Polaris because of the name Polarity. But he doesn't care about learning the truth of his father and what's going on with Vought. He doesn't care about the school being a front for Vought, experimenting on people. Like, that doesn't bother him. But the one thing he can't get past was Kate's betrayal. To be fair, though, he does come around on her at the end of the episode. Like, he admits that he's still in love with her, and she seems like she's back on the team. Like, everybody's like, okay, fine, we made peace with it. You're cool. Now let's go after the Dean. But then Kate goes unconscious because of the side effect of her powers. If she uses them too many times or for too long or tries to affect too many minds at the same time, it will cause her brain to basically melt down. That's the way they balance everyone's powers on the show and keep them from getting too OP, because Homelander is still meant to be like the most powerful person on the show by far. That's why Victoria Newman, who can pop people's heads, cannot pop Homelander's head. Like, as powerful as she is, she still can't stop him. I think they're saving that for the Ryan character, like he'll be the person who potentially become powerful enough to stop Homelander, but I also think there'll be a big twist there too. Like, it won't be as simple as just Superboy versus Superman in whatever the final season of The Boys winds up being. Marie uses her blood-bending powers again to try and resuscitate Kate, keeping her heart and her brain working. We learned that Cardoza is also finishing the virus on Betsy, who we saw earlier on the show. She's the fire-based superhero. It looks like she just has a really, really bad case of the flu in that current form of the anti-superhero serum. The other interesting thing here, too, is that he just seems like your typical misguided scientist who's like, okay, we have created a humane way to control superheroes, very non-lethal, but obviously the Dean has her own plans, like, okay, why don't you make it stronger and also weaponize it at the same time? How many superheroes can we kill? Like, clearly the Doctor is probably picking up on this, like, why would we need to make it contagious unless we want to weaponize it? We'll see how far things get before the Doctor starts working with the kids or the kids wind up killing the Doctor. When Kate sits up really quick, then disappears, really cool effect that they pull off, like the practical effect of them getting pulled into her mind. What's happening here is that Marie's temporary fix worked. Kate became conscious briefly for like a hot second, and in that hot second, she lost control of her powers and lashed out and just pulled them all into her mind space. And inside her mind, she's so powerful, she's kind of like God, basically, and that's why the other kids' powers don't work. But this is why their physical bodies in the normal world are just lying there unconscious around the house. It's also why everything in the background, like the doors, disappear in that really cool way, and while they're witnessing all these memories of Kate's and their own memories, you see the background slowly start to break apart. There was a similar type of effect in the Vecna's lair in the Upside Down during Stranger Things Season 4, where like you see things floating around, breaking apart in midair. And obviously the reason why her mind is represented by the woods here is the show just revealing that she is so traumatized by what she did to her brother that she's always been thinking about that since the moment that it happened. Like her mind subconsciously and sometimes consciously has always been thinking about that day in the woods. So she's always going back there mentally. And all the other aspects of her mind just walk around in it. Like the Mindspace version of Soldier Boy, which was hilarious. The reason why he didn't know anything about Vought blaming him for the events of Season 3 and lying to cover it up by saying that he was a sleeper Russian agent was because he was a figment of Kate's imagination and Kate didn't know that much about what happened. But this Soldier Boy was basically a figment of Kate's imagination she conjured up when she hit puberty and wanted to learn about the big O, so to speak. Hump the crap out of that pillow on the regular. The even funnier thing about this too is that it wasn't Homelander that she thought of, like she created as her fictional boyfriend. She chose Soldier Boy instead, like she liked him more. Homelander in real life would hate that if he learned, like, how dare you pick him instead of me? And in reality, Soldier Boy's kink is for older women, so if the real actual Soldier Boy learned that she was really into him this way, he wouldn't really be into her in the same way. How ironic. He seems like he's totally cool with Andre, but also makes fun of him for being her new boyfriend, like, she always comes back to the pillow. The reason why he knows about Andre, like, you're the new boyfriend, is because he knows everything that Kate knows because he's a figment of her imagination, like a representation of her imagination. He explains the lightning is actually Kate's blood vessels in her brain bursting, so she's about to die, taking them all with her as they all revisit their own traumatic memories that have kind of bled together with Kate's traumatic memories. So it's a little bit like a therapy episode inside her mind space. Dr. Soldier Boy is here to lead you on the tour through the mind space and all your traumatic memories. We witnessed the events of Kate's brother disappearing and them failing to find him. That's how powerful she is. She told her brother to leave and never come back. He was only 6 years old, and he never stopped obeying that command. The idea is that he just hid from the searchers and continues to hide from them in present day. So maybe like a big payoff for her character arc at the end of the season would be actually finding out that her brother is still alive out there. That's also kind of Marie's thing too, like she wants to find her sister and reunite with her. They just renewed the show for Season 2, so they might actually save some of that stuff for Season 2 though. But then her mother basically treats the young Kate like a freak from then on, locking her in her room using that hardcore vault door for about the next 9 years until she goes to the university. To be fair to little Kate, her mother is the one who arranged her getting the Compound V dose from Vought because she thought that it would make their family rich. And in the world of the boys, that's basically why all those kids' parents gave them Compound V treatments as children, for money or fame. They're a little ambiguous about how Andre got his powers though, like they haven't completely explained that if he got his powers at birth biologically like Ryan because his father Polarity was a Compound V superhero, or if he got the Compound V treatments after he was born. But because their powers are both the same, like he's a Magneto reference just like his father's, they have magnetism powers, then I think they're implying that he was born with them. In the comics, it's a little bit different though. In the boys' comic book, Compound V is meant to make people sterile, so like women can't get pregnant and men can't conceive children either. Homelander was meant to be like the one exception to that in the boys' comic book, but they kind of changed things for the TV show. I already talked about Jensen Ackles' Soldier Boy coming back. Loved all the scenes of him just sassing the hell out of all of them and the stuff that he knows, some stuff he doesn't know. He also acts like he's kind of dumb, but also smart at the same time. Like he knows all about the blood vessels and gives us a very sciencey explanation for how her mind is breaking down. But then at the same time, he's kind of dumb and stumbles through his attempts to make fun of them. In real life, though, he's still in cryo storage being held by Vought. He could always come back. Jensen Ackles is like, yeah, we could totally bring my character back. It'd have to be kind of twisty, but we could do it. At the time when he was saying this after The Boys Season 3, I would think he was talking a little bit about this too, like the Mindspace version of Soldier Boy. Then R.I.P. Mindspace Soldier Boy dies in her mind getting struck by that lightning, which is actually a blood vessel bursting, meaning that Kate, when she wakes up, probably will just forget about him, that he existed. Like, oh yeah, maybe I did use this Mindspace boyfriend, but I don't quite remember what was going on with that. That's basically the end of this version. Like, if he comes back, it had to be like a completely different version of Soldier Boy. Back in the real world, Emma reunites with Sam. They get it on in front of a Polarity claw game machine, Andre's father. How appropriate to the episode. He sees the puppet version of her again, mid-hump, but she's cool with it. I think they just want to tease their continuing relationship, and it's going to be kind of like a Hulk and Black Widow kind of relationship where she slowly talks him down every time he seems like he's going to lose it. Sun's getting real low there, bud. Then they see Kate's memory of the day that the dean came to offer her a spot in the university. She's doing the homeschooling because they literally won't let her leave her room. Maybe there were a couple times, but for the most part, over those 9 years since the accident, it seems like they kept her literally locked inside that room. She's got posters of all the 7 characters all over her room like Queen Maeve. There's a poster for a Crimson Countess movie that she made called Whiskey Sunrise. There's a poster of Soldier Boy there too, for obvious reasons, for a lot of pillow humping reasons. Then the dean gives her a pill that will suppress her powers, enabling her to just operate normally in real life. That was probably one of Vought's earlier attempts at creating a chemical compound to control superheroes, like a lesser version of what they're doing with the virus. They jump to her memory of meeting Golden Boy at the university, and because the memory of Golden Boy knows everything that Kate knows, and their memories are also bleeding into Kate's memories, he knows everything that Andre knows, and becomes sort of this manifestation of Andre's grief over what he did getting with Kate while she was still with Golden Boy, basically cheating on him behind his back. This is where they start seeing their own traumatic memories bleeding in with hers. The next one is like a previous time where Golden Boy learned the truth and came after Brink, and it's Jordan's memory helping subdue him. Trying to come to terms with the idea that she believed everything that Brink told her, like the reason why this was all going on, even though subconsciously she probably figured out that it was all meant to be a lie, like this is all really sus. They visit Kate's memory of the woods, seeing them experiment on Golden Boy and Sam, and Cardoza giving Golden Boy the transfusion of Sam's blood. Like I said, boosting his power, also probably something weird going on with Sam's powers that we don't fully understand yet, like some aspect to his powers. They see her eating up the lies that Brink and the dean were telling her about why she needed to wipe everyone's memories. Then they visit Marie's traumatic memory of the time she killed her parents. She sees her sister again, reminding you that that is something that she's still trying to do, like she's on a mission to find her sister. And Andre finally comes around on her admitting that he's still in love with her and helping her wake up. So basically they're all cool, but then Sam comes back and almost winds up killing her, but it turns into like a Hulk Black Widow situation where Emma talks him down. Like I said, I think it'll just continue to be a thing in the future. Gonna be a little while before he's right in the head. There are only 2 episodes left, so just based on the episode 7 trailer footage, it seems like they're going after the dean and the doctor next. Back in the woods, R.I.P. Betsy, because we learned that the dosage Cardoza gave her, even though it was just like a tiny bit more, was enough to kill her, which the dean thinks is amazing, like I said, because she probably wants to weaponize it, killing all superheroes. So it sounds like the final 2 episodes are the Scooby Gang stopping her before she can unleash that on the rest of the world. My other early theory is that because we're getting cameos in all these episodes, we'll probably see a Homelander cameo in either episode 7 or episode 8. They might save him for the finale though, just because that's meant to directly lead into The Boys Season 4. Like Homelander shows up and just wrecks a whole bunch of people. They also just renewed Gen V for Season 2. We don't know when that's going to premiere, probably 2025, just at the rate they're going right now. They called it the show getting a sophomore year, so like the kids will come back and be in university for sophomore year. They'll probably get a new version of the Dean, because early theory, they'll kill this version of the Dean. Like the new Dean that they get in Season 2 will be even worse. Kind of like an out of the frying pan into the fire situation. Like, oh, you cleared one problem, but another problem that's way, way worse just crept up. There are a whole bunch of Easter eggs and references in the episode. If you spotted any that I didn't talk about in the video, just write them below in the comments. My episode 7 video will post next week after they release it. Click here for my full Loki Season 2 episode 3 video, and click here for all my Boys Gen V episodes. Thank you so much for watching. Everyone stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.